Merry Monday, YouTube. Or it might be early Tuesday by the time I get around to posting this, but either way, I was able to get my latest batch of monthly comic subscriptions via curbside pickup thanks to this latest lockdown, and I have just recently managed to read through them all. There wasn't a ton, it was kind of an average amount, and because of the lockdown I couldn't go in and look for any back issues, so it's all brand new stuff. So let's get it started with some Ninja Turtles. First up, issue 114 of the current ongoing series, and also issue number 115. So in these two issues, future Lita has come back to the Turtles earlier in 113 or whatever, and says you guys need to change the past, you need to save Karai, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And Toka and Razor, Karai's mutant wolf and turtle, are loose on the city, which is a shout out to the original live action Ninja Turtles movie of the early 90s or late 80s, whatever it was. And so these two mutants are kind of terrorizing the city, so the Turtles are like, well, we got to go out and find these creatures and reel them in, right? So in the meantime, Jenica is kind of confronts Karai as she's in her bed, all healing up from her injuries, and says, I should kill you, because you almost killed me, and thanks to you, I had got the blood transfusion from Leonardo, which made me this turtle mutant I am now. And but Raph kind of intercepts her from doing this. They end up getting in a bit of a scrap, and then everybody's like, stop it, let's go. And so they go on patrol looking for these two mutants, Toka and Razor. And in the meantime, Bebop and Rocksteady have entered Mutant Town with their little posse, and they have started also kind of terrorizing in their own way. And they have ended up at the Kennel Club, where they have kind of honed in on I forget the mutant pig, the front woman of the band that the mutants love so much. I forget her name, but her and her band are playing a gig, and Bebop and Rocksteady kind of crash the party and steal her instruments, and they start rocking out because they feel as though they are a better band. And the issue kind of closes off, I think, as 114 closes off, as they kind of catch up to these two mutants, Toka and Razor, and begin to confront them. At first things are friendly, and the mutants, because they're huge mutants, but they're still babies, so they're like, are you our mama? And then one of them steals Raph's headband, and Raph kind of does what Raph does and starts a little scrap. So then the mutants are angry, and they're large, and they cause a lot of damage. So, and then into issue 115, that kind of battle continues between those two mutants and the Turtles. And one of the Turtles, I don't know if it's Mike or Jenny, gets smacked through the Kennel Club's roof and crashes kind of the band, the Bebop and Rocksteady band that's going on, and they go, what the hell is all this? So then they enter the fray, and they want to take these two mutants for their own purposes, right? So eventually the Turtles and Bebop and Rocksteady confront each other, and they're like, okay, there's only one way to settle this. A battle of the bands. The winner gets Mutant Town, the losers has to get the hell out of Mutant Town. So then Bebop and Rocksteady agree, so then the Turtles have to find their band, whatever. And so we got this battle of the bands thing looming for the next issue. And at the end of the issue also, Toka and Razor kind of track their way back to Karai thanks to some help from April O'Neil, and who Karai is kind of their keeper and their mama. So the two mutants kind of calm down and are happy once they find Karai. So that's kind of how things end off at the end of those two issues. Also, Jenica II, number 5. And if you remember in this Jenica series, she has taken on the task of sending notes to Junior, the son of a woman named Lucia, who has been turned into a mutant antelope. And Jenny feels she needs to do this for this kid because she's responsible for killing his mob boss father from her previous life when she was an assassin. So she's doing this kind of out of a sense of duty for kind of reparations, I guess. But she also grows to become fond of this boy, Junior. And However, on her next visit to give Junior a message, she finds all the guards kind of waiting for her, like they've discovered her involvement, and so they try to take her captive. But she naturally beats the shit out of all these regular humans, and has to take Junior with her as she leaves the scene. So she ends up meeting back with Lucia afterwards, and is like, "Here's Junior." So it's kind of a reunion between mother and son. And after that happens, Junior starts to hang around the Splinter Clan dojo a lot, and starts taking part in all the activities. Goes to watch the band at the Kennel Club. Starts to live life and love life again. And as the issue comes to a close, Jenny goes to talk to Lucia, or Lucia, whatever, however the hell you say it, again, and Lucia gives her this offer: "I want you to become my own personal assassin and help me out with some business." And Jenny's like, "You're insane," rejects her. But then eventually Lucia and her mutant minions attack Jenny and basically force her to take this job out of by taking her captive, sort of thing. And that's the last thing we see in this issue, is Jenny being taken captive by Lucia and her mutant minions. So yeah, it'll be on the one hand, we got the one regular ongoing issue, kind of lighthearted, with the Battle of the Bands coming up, and then in the Jenica series we've got like, oh, she just got the crap beaten out of her and now she's gonna have to become Lucia's bitch, right? So kind of a happy, kind of fun one, and then a not so happy fun one. Next up, we got another trio, this time of Transformers, and they're all from all different series. The first one up is the regular ongoing Transformers series, which is now subtitled War World, and it is number 28. This one's kind of all over the place. It begins with images of visions or nightmares from Cliffjumper as he suffers at the hand of Terrorsaur from an adventure he had a while back involving that terrific beast. Then it gets down to kind of, I don't know who's narrating it, but somebody's telling events that are going on, and it focuses a lot on the Decepticons. Megatron, after having made this play for the Senate, he's talking to Ratbat and his cronies about their next play, when Grapple and Hotspot and some other Autobots show up to kind of take them in, and a battle erupts there. Starscream is planning something and is recovering from some of his injuries, and he has something in mind for Megatron. What else is happening? Oh, Cyclonus is going after the Decepticons. He's kind of raiding their base, and he ends up confronting Six-Shot, who Megatron has just recently announced via the media, this female bot who is kind of the biggest news star on Cybertron, and she's being controlled by the Decepticons now, and being told what to put out about them in the news now. It's kind of like, here, like, you don't know what's fucking news and what's not. And so that's going on, and Six-Shot's involvement with the Decepticon cause is announced via this, and so we see Cyclonus track down Six-Shot and confront him, and they battle until Six-Shot says, "I've got Pyra Magna." Or Megatron is working with Pyra Magna now, so that stops Cyclonus in his tracks, and we don't know why, but he wants to destroy this Pyra Magna for some reason. So then he's kind of on board with, at least tentatively, with Six-Shot, and I think those are the main kind of things that are going on. And then the issue ends with, again, another page of nightmarish images from Cliffjumper and his suffering at the hands of Terrorsaur. Next up, we have issue 3 of the Beast Wars series going on. This one's pretty quick. It's pretty action-packed. It's just, it picks up with the Decepticons just having recently captured the Autobot, or Primal, Nyx, who is a little tiny bat. And they're starting to torture her. Megatron has given Tarantulas the go-ahead to kind of pick her apart, do whatever he wants with her, torture her. And while all this is going on, Dinobot, the Decepticon Dinobot, is kind of watching it and kind of questioning Megatron on, like, is this really necessary? There's no honor in this torture and stuff. And Megatron's like, chill, bro. So then finally, back at the Primal camp, they're starting to wonder, like, why isn't Nyx back yet? She's been gone a long time. And Optimus Primal's kind of like, well, you know what? She really wanted to go for a flight. She probably just lost track of time. She's out there soaring around like she loves to do. Let's just give her a little bit longer. So then back to the Decepticons, or the what are they? The Predacons. Tarantulas has made an experiment of Nyx, and has taken away her ability to transform. So they've put her out in the outside with all the radiation that's going on in her robot mode, and she can't transform and into animal mode and protect herself from that radiation. So she's slowly dying at the hands of Tarantulas in this sick experiment of his, and that's when Dinobot just can't take it anymore. So he destroys this device of Tarantulas that prevents Nyx from transforming, allows her to escape, and then he has a nice little plan to lock all of the Predacons in their ship indefinitely while he kind of escapes. So he, don't know if he necessarily turns sides at this point, but he has definitely unaligned himself with the Predacon cause, and is now maybe, I don't know, a free agent, a bounty hunter, a kind of middle of the ground kind of guy, who knows. So that's kind of where that leaves off, with this interesting kind of save that Dinobot provides for Nyx. Last up, I've been waiting for this one for a while now. Issue 3 of the crossover of Transformers and Back to the Future. As this one picks up in the future, which is 2015 in this series, after a skirmish, one of the Constructicons is badly hurt, Scrapper I believe it is, and the rest of the Constructicons are confronting Biff, who is the Decepticon kind of human representative on Earth at this point, about what the hell happened. He's like, I don't know, I didn't do it, whatever. So then they turn on Biff, and he's kind of like running away from the Constructicons, and then at the last second he's saved, and it's Doc Brown who shows up with this big gun that's capable of taking down Transformers. And so he kind of saves Biff and takes him under his wing, and they rendezvous with the McFlys, minus Marty, just his parents, George and Lorraine, right? Yeah, George and Lorraine. So the four of them kind of put their heads together and like, what can we do? And Doc Brown's like, see that tower over there? It's a transmitter. If we can get to it and I can beef it up and whatnot, I can send out a message to the Autobots. I know that they've been active. I know I've intercepted transmissions from them. I know they're out there. If we can get there, send out a message, they can come save us. So that's their kind of next play. So they manage to avoid detection and sneak in there and eventually get that transmission off. But just afterwards, Biff turns on them and says, hey guys, I got your traitors right here, trying to get back into the Decepticons' good graces, right? So then all of a sudden, Doc Brown and the McFlys are lined up for execution by the Decepticons while Biff kind of watches over everything. But in the meantime, the Autobots did get the transmission, and they have arrived. Marty, along with Bumblebee, Hot Rod, or Rodimus Prime, whoever he is in this one, and then the Transformer that is the DeLorean, I forget what his name is, as well as another small Autobot that I don't know who it is. So they arrive, and they're outnumbered, so they kind of don't move on it at first, but then Marty can't take it anymore, so he just runs into action and attacks Biff, and that starts off the whole skirmish. And so there's this fight going on between the Autobots and Decepticons, and on the last page of the issue we see, the guys go, uh-oh, and it's, the church or whatever it is that has the clock tower in Back to the Future, that they're always looking at the clock and whatnot. That building transforms into a large transformer, and they're like, oh, we gotta face this thing now, whatever the hell it is, right? So I love this crossover. It's such a bizarre choice. Like Transformers, Star Trek, it was like, okay, well, it's kind of sci-fi, space, whatever. And some of the other ones, they make more sense, but this one's just totally bizarre and out of the blue, right? Kind of like Ghostbusters. That was a different one too, but I love it. If they keep producing these crossovers, I'm definitely going to keep buying them. No question about that. Last up, one lonely issue of G.I. Joe, but it was a good one, and it's number 278 of the current ongoing series. This one takes place in an area called Frusenland, and it is very cold, and it is in the aftermath of a G.I. Joe attack on a Cobra Terrordrome. Their reason for doing so was to free a geologist named Dr. Jen Tang, who Cobra had abducted for whatever their nefarious reasons are. A small team did this attack and made off with her, and it consists of CoverGirl, Low Light, and then a bunch of the Joe's more extreme weather kind of specialists like Snow Job, Frostbite, Outback. I think Alpine was in there. Obviously, the snow-based guys are all in there. And so they basically have one G.I. Joe Snowcat, and then I think one stolen Cobra snow machine, whatever it's called. And so this ragtag collection of Joes are trying to escape the Cobras in these two vehicles. And of course, not long after they depart, they are pursued by I think maybe 4 Cobra land vehicles. But then they also have a Cobra team working on repairing a Firebat, which is one of the kind of jets that come with the Terror Drome. So these 4 land vehicles pursue them. So the Joes get creative, especially the snow-based guys, and they kind of cause some distractions and some traps and slowly pick off their pursuers kind of one by one. And in the end, after they dispatch all these guys, they have to deal with the Firebat, which is a lot more of a problem because it's got a lot more firepower on it, and it's also very fast, maneuverable, and it's in the sky, right? So the Joes have to find some sort of way of dispatching this Firebat and living to tell the tale, and of course escaping with their the Dr. Jen Tang, who they have the whole point of this mission is to rescue her. So this latest batch of issues are just kind of one-off untold tales, I guess. So this is kind of just a one-off adventure, and I love it because you just get they're very simple, fast-paced adventures that you can kind of turn your brain off, and it's not something that's kind of an ongoing thing that with the in-depth plot line, you know, that twists and turns and goes back and forth and stuff. They're just kind of simple little stories that take place whenever in the G.I. Joe timeline that you can just kind of enjoy on a one-off basis, right? So very much enjoyed this issue because the very first G.I. Joe character I had was Snow Job in his little snow machine, and he was always you know, a big favorite of mine. So I've always really liked, and I have a Snowcat. You know, I have a lot of the snow-based vehicles in G.I. Joe and the snow-based characters. So this issue was maybe a little extra special for me. So, but that's all for now. That was 7 issues. So not a bad haul. I will be hopefully picking up my next batch curbside in the beginning of May, and hopefully we'll have another video mid-May to tell you of those adventures. And until then, stay, I guess these days you would say stay safe, because everything's gone to shit. Toodles.